You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
It's good to be back. Clock calls it. Cross-side pass. Right side, flips it in. Score! We got Trey Shuttle in overtime. The Edmonton Oilers tie the series 2 games apiece.
Oh my, the NHL, the Stanley Cup final strikes again. Awesome hockey last night. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. It is Friday the 13th. Ooh. Thanks for checking us out across the video platform today here. Following me on X at PShep326 on the Facebook pages, also on YouTube, Rumble Kick, CSN Florida, LinkedIn. Call or text 727-858-6650. Where is Antonio Brown, people? Those of us who live in the state of Florida, like myself and Angel Martinez up in Tampa, arrest warrant out for Antonio Brown from attempted murder from that little boxing incident that we talked about a month and a half ago. That's just one subject we're going to tackle. Of course, we're going to break down what happened last night. The Florida Panthers blowing a 3-0 lead. And I've said it, my word for this series, for both of these teams, is resiliency. You know my feeling about the Maple Leafs. It's inevitable that they will lose. And it's funny. We'll get to that in a second. U.S. Open highlights and updates as well. How about Patrick Reed yesterday with an albatross on the fourth hole? Got a 2 on a par 5, 286 yards. We got some NFL news. Besides Antonio Brown, the Patriots are going to honor Tom Brady with a statue. We got some sound for that. We're going to get into, and I have to do this. I have like had it with some of these people in the national media. I know you have too. The Stephen A. Smith narcissistic rant yesterday on First Take regarding Tyrese Halliburton is so fucking embarrassing. It's as embarrassing as Jackie Redmond's performance last night when talking about Taylor Swift like some schoolgirl trying to get an autograph in fourth grade. And I would say that's the worst thing that happened last night. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce show up at the game, at sunrise. I'm telling you, 99% of the people don't care. Yeah, I know in Kansas City, she draws younger well, at least last year she did. I think it's going to fade. She draws younger viewers from the female viewers. Great, wonderful. Somebody said that to me last night. I go, yeah, I'm sure Edmonton won't be sold out at Game 5 tomorrow night. I'm sure more young ladies are going to watch Edmonton and Florida tomorrow night, Game 5, because fucking Taylor Swift was at the game. So the mentality is off the chart. I'm telling you, man, if you want to invade you people up there in space, now is the time, because we got a bunch of dingleberry, dumbass people who live on this planet in more ways than one, and think that the storylines and some of the narratives are just not that big a deal. I'm sorry. You get somebody like this Jackie Redmond girl, who I think, and I don't blame her per se, because I'm sure the producers say, but we're going to play the video. She interrupted Kenny Albert's broadcast and stuff. When the play-by-play starts, you shut up. I don't care what sideline reporter you are. And there's a lot of them, men and women, that don't do that. Once the action returns, shut the hell up and let the play-by-play guy do his job. You can always come back and with your pedantic blathering about Taylor Swift or whoever else. I don't know what some of these people would do if they were in Boston, Philadelphia, New York, or Los Angeles, where the celebrities come out every single game. There's always somebody there. But Taylor Swift, and I welcome all the Swifties you got to understand, this is not for me about Taylor Swift. It could have been, and I said it could have been Tom Cruise, it could have been Samuel L. Jackson, it could have been, Matthew McConaughey, Denzel. It doesn't matter. It's the whole way you present the package. And then this woman, this Jackie Redmond girl starts reading off statistic about Taylor Swift. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. I'm telling you. I don't want to hear that. I don't care how many records she sold or how many Grammys she'd won. And she could go on and on. Wait till you hear it. It's just ridiculous. And the Stephen A. Smith stuff is even worse. That narcissistic a-hole is just, it's intolerable now, what has gone on. But we digress. And we say good morning. We're going to get into it. And I'll read you some of the comments from the Swiftie people. Because they think because I was angry because of Taylor Swift. I don't care about Taylor Swift. You could have substituted her for any celebrity. You know? Was she the first celebrity to go to Sunrise? I don't know. They don't show a lot of them on TV. But I know they show them in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles a lot, Chicago. I know they show them all the time. It's not a big deal. But Taylor Swift, Angel Martinez, good morning. She's going to draw more female viewers tomorrow night when Edmonton takes on Florida in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. It's absolutely ridiculous, absolute pedantic, blathering, bubblehead shit that is just infiltrating and polluting the broadcast airwaves. Good morning,
Pete. Fired up this morning already on a Friday, but it's the same way.
Hi, Swifties. Hi, Swifties. Welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show. Welcome. Sorry to have wasn't inside. And I have nothing against Taylor Swift. I don't know any of these songs she sings or whatever, and I don't care. She's extremely talented. For me personally, give me my girl Stephanie Germanotta any day of the week and twice on Sunday, a.k.a. Lady Gaga. I think she's got superior talent across the board, including acting skills. But that's just me. That's just me. And I have nothing, again, I don't care. Taylor Swift, substitute Taylor Swift with anybody else you wanted at this game last night. Anybody else, any other celebrity you think. I feel the same way. The gushing over and the stats, giving her stats, and maybe we should just play the video, Angel. Let's just play the video right now, and then you can comment on it, I'll comment on it. And then I'm going to ask you to agree with me about everything. If it's something you have a different opinion, please feel free. But this is what you have to scroll down a little bit. It's on. It's under her Jackie Redmond thing, and it's and this is the other part. Her headline is, "How did I do, Swifties?" Can you imagine me covering on a national, even local or regional? Can you imagine me saying, "How did I do blank" on my social media? Do you know how stupid that sounds? How immature it is? And then she says, she says also, if you don't drop TTBD lyrics in your Taylor Swift report at the Stanley Cup Final in Florida, are you even a real fan? Wow. Fuck you. And the horse you rode in on, Jackie Redmond. Are you serious? Oh, but she was only kidding. Listen to this bubblehead report.
Let's see.
And there's a lot of men that do bubblehead reports too. Don't get me wrong. So don't have the feminists out there.
Back to the NHL on TNT. Florida is one hell of a drug. Just ask Taylor Swift, who wrote those lyrics in a song called Florida, and who, yes, is in the building. The rumors have been swirling all day, and she is here. Taylor Swift, along with NFL tight end Travis Kelce, taking in Game 4 between two teams who you could say, Kenny, have a lot of bad blood through 4 games of this Stanley Cup Final. But my goodness, Taylor Swift will bring the eyeballs for this one as we see a shot from the point blocked, rebound, save. I'm doing your job now, Kenny. I apologize, but Taylor Swift, basically the Wayne Gretzky of music right now. She's written over 250 songs, won 14 Grammys. She's broken records by the Beatles. I could go on and on.
Excellent job with the play-by-play, Jackie, as the Edmonton Oilers look to shake off their Game 3 loss here in Game 4 in Sunrise. Marchand back out, Nikola. Nikola towards the net, and that's gloved by Skinner.
Anything else you want to add, Kenny? Or
I thought Jackie did a tremendous job.
she did, but the last part
Here comes the closer.
very nice.
Listen, Kenny, I'm envious of you for many, many reasons, but at the tippity top of that list is this photo right here. You've actually met Taylor Swift. What year was this? It looks like the 1989 era.
Wow. I mean, Boosh called you old the other night, Eddie. Now it's Jackie.
That's an
Taking a
album
shot.
of hers. I'm not saying the year was 1989.
Who cares?
It's an album reference.
2014.
It's an album reference. It's an album reference. I'm sorry. That is like, you know what Kenny Albert is thinking as she's interrupting his play-by-play? Shut the fuck up. That's what he's thinking. He'd never come out and say that. But that's what he's thinking. Any play-by-play guy. It's bad enough when the color man a lot of times in any of these sports talks over the play-by-play guy. But when the sideline reporter is gushing over Taylor Swift or whatever celebrity you want and the play continues, shut up. That's like broadcasting 101. When the play starts in any sport, sideline reporter, shut up. It's bad enough the stupid music that goes on in all these arenas during the play as it is. But I mean, my God, how did I do Swifties? Oh, you did. I'll tell you what. You did great, Jackie. Now go to Los Angeles, New York, Boston, or Philadelphia, where this shit happens all the time. Actually, why don't you move to Kansas City? You can gush all over her. Start reading off statistics about Taylor Swift during the game. And I know what's. I know the whole thing lasted only like a minute, but it is nevertheless annoying as all hell. Absolutely annoying as all hell. I'm sorry. And it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce. You substitute anybody you want in that scenario. That's as unprofessional as it gets. The gushing. Who does? What if I went out? What if I did a national broadcast? First, how did I do, Billy Joel fans? And started. Oh, Billy Joel's done this, he's done that, or Elton John, or Bruce Springsteen, or any classic rock, or Run DMC, or Hammer, or whatever hip hop artist you want that I know of, that I DJ back in the day. And I start a headline, how did I do blank? Do you know how immature and childish that is? I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm not being get off my lawn guy either. I'm looking at it from a broadcast standpoint. That's embarrassing. That is absolutely embarrassing. Where does it end?
Well, the couple things is I don't even think Taylor Swift, for all purposes, would even interrupt her own show, her own live musical performance to say something that has nothing to do with her concert. Because usually anytime...
Oh, I don't know about that. There's a lot of these artists that get political one way or the other. It doesn't. I don't mind storytelling at concerts. Just right. I went back to seeing U2 back in the day at the Garden. And they were terrific, even though the old Garden had horrible, horrible acoustics. But then Bono starts preaching about the IRA and everything. I go to concerts to get away from all that. I don't want to be preached to. I don't want to be politicized in any way. I don't want to be talked down to. Just play. Just play. Tell funny stories. Billy Joel, others, Elton John, Bruce Springsteen. I know he gets political too sometimes, but for the most part, a lot of these entertainers tell funny stories and stuff. I don't want to be preached to. I don't want to be politicized. But go ahead, Angel. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I got to get Jerry's comment here in a second. But no, to me... You don't, first of all, if it's, I understand like you saw Taylor Swift, I get it, fine. If it's during intermission and you happen to catch it, fine. It's saying during intermission. It's just intermission. You're getting, the recap of what happened between that period. But yes, before play-by-play, like even if you wanted to say something remotely, okay, quick, 3-4 seconds, whatever, get it out, and then let the play-by-play go back to where it's supposed to be. And again, that's anyone. That's not just... last night, that's any commentator. You always let the play-by-play guy or girl go back to doing what they do best. But to, spit out stats, this, that, and the other, no offense, Taylor doesn't care. Taylor's there with Travis Kelce and just having a good time. Nor does she care about the cameras being on her because she knows it's like that all the time.
And this nonsense bullshit about, the rumors have been swirling all week. What? I never heard of it once. I never heard of it until they showed her. And do you think? Do you really think that young moms watching the game last night, which were probably few and far between, are going, "Hey, little Sally, who's 8 years old, guess what? We're going to watch Game 5 in Edmonton because Taylor Swift, who will not be there, I sit there and it's like the torrential flood of illogic just astonishes me. The shit that comes out of these reporters' mouths, some of them, is just so it's absolutely ridiculous. I wonder how some of these bubbleheads, men and women, get up in the morning and even function. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift and and it is like she thinks it's like makes her a better reporter or what? You put a headline out there. How did I do Swifties? That is, can you imagine? Look, I can't imagine, and I'm just putting females that I love and respect out there. My friends Catherine Tappan, Deandra Liu, Mia O'Brien, and Emily Kaplan, who covers hockey. I can't imagine just those 4 or 5 ladies alone putting out a comment like that. How did I do, Swifties? It would never, ever happen. It would never, ever happen. There's no problem having fun and putting out fun tweets. But that also, if you don't drop TTBD lyrics in your Taylor Swift report at the Stanley Cup final in Florida, IN, big capitals, are you even a real fan? With a emoji at the end. That's supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, I suppose. And I'm like, drop that shit. And I said, I put it out there. I put, drop that shit in an original Six City. See what happens. Boston, New York, Chicago, Toronto, Montreal, St. Louis. Drop that kind of crap, in one of the original Six Cities. See the response that you get. It's amateur bullshit. It really is.
Yeah, I would think at this point, and the whole Taylor Swift experience, I understand there's a lot of people who's crazy about her. And again, nothing against Taylor Swift. I just think, unfortunately, she's become the brunt of many things. In Kansas City, everybody knows this year, KC went to the Super Bowl, lost. There was a lot of tension once again on Taylor Swift. And I think even to the point this year, the broadcasters were like, okay, we get it. We understand.
I don't blame her. I blame people in the media. I don't blame Taylor Swift or any other celebrity, except for Spike Lee and Ben Stiller during the Knicks-Celtics game. I mean, that was beyond obnoxious. But they're always there. It's not their fault. TNT went out of their way at Madison Square Garden to show. They did a whole thing, man. That's just as... But they weren't gushing over statistics and everything else. They just feel the need to show what celebrities are at certain arenas or stadiums. And I just think most people are sick of it. They don't care. It's not going to make you turn the game on. It just isn't. Maybe, Taylor may have had some minor impact on Kansas City Chiefs games for a little bit. I don't deny that. But young girls watching that, if they don't understand anything about football, they're being taught the game, or are they waiting for one little screenshot of Taylor Swift, jumping up and down, clapping every time Travis Kelce catches a ball, which was not a lot last year, by the way. But, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing as a society? What values are we teaching? Unbelievable. How did I do, Swifties? Unbelievable. How did I do Angels? If Angel Martinez was a rock, how did I do Angels? Jesus, God almighty. All right, let's get to this hockey game last night. And then we'll get to Stephen A. little bit later on, because that was almost more embarrassing. His rebuttal yesterday to Tyrese Halliburton, who never even mentioned him by name, but Stephen A. took it upon himself that he was soft wussy Stephen A. Cannot handle any type of constructive criticism. It's unbelievable. He'll tell you and preach that he can't, but he can't. It's ridiculous. And there's nobody there at that table on that show to challenge him.
No, that's a good point.
Glad to see Magic Johnson was there yesterday. I saw a little clip. Magic Johnson, it was fantastic. Magic Johnson telling Luka Doncic, this is not Dallas, this is LA. You need to report in shape. Oh, there's breaking news for you. Really? All right. Last night, the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers engaged in another classic overtime. 3 out of the 4 games have gone overtime, blowing the NBA playoffs out of the water. Matthew Tkachuk got it going in the first period for the Panthers.
That's an easy call for referee Chris Rooney, and what a chance here for the Panthers.
Two-man advantage. Tkachuk waits, shoots, scores!
Goal by the Florida Panthers on Stuart Skinner. Win the faceoff, attack right away. No question a screen is there, but it does go on that short side, stick side of Stuart Skinner.
Boy, what a great look we just had. The look prior to see what Skinner was dealing with.
There's Big Walt.
All right, thanks to TNT. By the way, Kenny Albert, Eddie Olczyk, and Brian Boucher doing a remarkable job. They're fantastic on TNT. All right, Tkachuk strikes again a little bit later on in the first period.
Played by Barkov. Here's Jones. Now Barkov down low. In front. Saved by Skinner. Score! Second of the period. Matthew Tkachuk. On the power play once again. 2-0 Florida.
Sam Reinhart. Watch the play down low. Kachuk's directing traffic. He pops it right out, and then he goes to the blue area and he puts it in. Kachuk had a chance to shoot the puck twice before this. He chose to pass and defer. This one here, Bush, it was on a tee.
And for Skinner, it's one of those, it wasn't the hard.
All right, and let's move on. Later on in the first period, the Panthers extend their lead.
For Edmonton, Verhaeghe up the boards. Frederick had to take it away by Verhaeghe. Final minute. First period as Reinhart shoots in. Stetcher back for Edmonton. Pass out in front. Score! It is now 3-0 Florida. Lundell in the final minute of the opening period. Big hit behind the net on Stetcher. Off the giveaway. Lundell converts.
Florida
Sounds like a
Panthers,
zoo in
the puck
there.
gets in deep, and then watch the effort by Carter Verhaeghe. Lundell works his tail off to jump onto the ice, the hit, the contact. And I'm not sure Stetcher gets it. Oh, Stetcher takes the hit with the stick. Watch the stick of Carter Verhaeghe.
All right, at that point, it's 3-0 going into the first, going into the intermission. And I don't know anybody on the planet that thought Edmonton was going to come back from this one. It's funny. I text Mick, right? Mick, our good buddy Mick Calagio from Rink Rap MC, one of the great NHL insiders. And he's like, "Oh my God!" He goes, "This is unbelievable." And I said, Edmonton has one chance and one chance only, that the Florida Panthers have to channel their inner Toronto Maple Leafs. That's what I said to him. I texted him. That's the only way they were going to come back and win. And sure as shit, that's exactly what happened. Edmonton begins the comeback in the second period.
The Stanley Cup playoff leader in power play goals with 5. Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, flips across, Nugent Hopkins. And is it in? Yes, and the Oilers are on the board. Up high, Nugent Hopkins gets Edmonton on the board.
Have the threat with the Draisaitl one-timer, so just freezes Ekblad for a second. As soon as Ekblad goes down, that opens up the passing lane. Watch the sticks to the inside. Draisaitl reads it perfectly right between two, and then right up on.
All right, and that was from Sportsnet, and it was 3-1 right there. And now we still remain in the second period. Here come the Oilers again.
Darnell Nurse with it. Put it in front of Nate Smith. Skinner goes tied up. Bump on Frederick. Up with the puck is Edmonton. At home. Nurse shooting, scores! Darnell Nurse up high. And it's a one-goal game.
Nurse making a house call.
It's just a hard-work, loose puck battle. 4 against 4 in the corner. The Oilers pick it up and then just sliding down and right off. And I don't know if it hit Gadjevic or not, but there's one for Sergei Bobrovsky. Watch how early Bobrovsky is down, and it's right over the shoulder, kind of similar to Nugent Hopkins. Kulikov, Skinner. There's another shift where Skinner getting his third chance, a little pat on the back, and man, is this...
Oh, yeah, and then we continue on. It's now 3-2 Florida. Can the Edmonton Oilers tie it up before the end of the period?
Somehow, as you showed going to break, found a way to shut the door on Connor McDavid's great play.
There's Draisaitl with another face-off win. Nurse ventures down. Nurse trying to center it in front of back. Scores! The game is tied. Podkolzin in front, and it's 3-3.
Great plays and good efforts. The win of the draw. You saw Gene talk about not getting kicked out of the faceoff dot. Darnell Nurse twice now. Once with the shot, this time just throw it to the front of the net. The battles have been won in this period by the Edmonton Oilers, and there's a beauty by Podkolzin. Fought off 2 Florida Panthers and able to find that rebound and put it underneath the blocker.
That tied the game at 3 in the second. At the end of 2, we are tied at 3. We head to the third period, and the Oilers somehow take the lead.
Hopkins ahead for Barkov. Taken away from him. There is a blast by Wall, and he scores!
So it's 4-3. The clock is winding down. Bobrovsky is out of the net. Here come the Florida Panthers with the extra skaters. Time is winding down.
Pickard, now Kulak. Held in by Verhaeghe. Now across. Kachuk with it. Score! Reinhart! 20 seconds remaining.
What a play there by Carter Verhaeghe to get the puck to Sam Bennett. And then Kachuk and Reinhart play a little pitch and catch. Pickard well out on top of the blue paint. But the one battle along the boards with support by Bennett. And folks, that angle, that is not an easy angle to put the puck into the back.
All right. Again, that's from TNT. Let's scroll down, Angel. I have the video of the game-winning goal, NHL on TNT. Draisaitl in overtime. Just have to scroll down a little bit. And here's the video. And the Edmonton Oilers have tied this series at 2. Right under Antonio Brown.
Oh, then I just had it and passed by it. Are you not entertained? Ta-da. And here we go. Hopefully.
Buck pulls it. Cross-ice pass. Draisaitl flips the net. Score! Leon Draisaitl in overtime. The Edmonton Oilers tie the series. 2 games apiece.
I mean, unbelievable. Down 3-0 in the first period. They come back and tie the game at 3. They take the lead in the third period. Then you had Reinhart score late for the Panthers. Goes into overtime, third time in 4 games. It's been phenomenal. And then Edmonton gets the win there with Draisaitl. Overtime goal. Absolutely unbelievable.
By the way, in case I disappear from the screen, it's not because there's something wrong. Understand that I put $1 billion last night on the game I lost, and so Vegas might become looking for me.
Tried to warn you. Tried to warn you. Some by hook or by crook. Now, I was down 3-0. I thought they had no chance. But I wonder what the live betting was on all these apps and down here on the Hard Rock and South. If you bet Edmonton to win when they're down 3-0 at the end of first, I'm sure you made a freaking killing. All right, let's go to post-game afterwards. Let's go to NHL on TNT. Scroll down. Game 4 hero, Leon Draisaitl with Panger, Darren Pang, after tying up the series.
Here we go.
Leon, what can you say after this dramatic win, trailing 3-0, bouncing back, and then having them tie it up so late, and the adversity that you deal with as a team? It's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, sometimes I think we'd like to put ourselves into better situations for ourselves so we don't constantly have to, fight back and hang in there and scratch and claw our way back. But it is a great... it's a great characteristic of our team. We continue to chip away at it, and today, obviously not a good start, but then we start playing.
Leon, why is it that you're, as a club, you're not bothered by anything? You change the goalies. It wasn't Skinner's fault, but you change the goalie, you rally back. It's just like nothing seems to phase you guys.
Yeah, I think it's just the trust that we have that once we find our legs and once we find our game, that we know how good we can be, and we just continue to push through whatever adversity is coming. That once we get to that hump, over that hump, and to the other side, we know our best game is hard to play against. So obviously we'd like to start that way a little sooner.
How does this sound? 4 Stanley Cup playoff overtime game winners.
Yeah, it's good, but I mean,
it's a new record.
Obviously, we got a lot of work ahead of us here, so I'll take it. But yeah, bigger picture.
Can you quickly go through the goal and what you saw?
Yeah, good play by Podsy there to get that into the middle, and then obviously it was a fortunate bounce. But we'll take these right now.
Leon, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How about this for a stat, Angel? The Oilers became the first road team to rally from down 3 to win a game in the final since the Montreal Canadiens against not the Bruins, not the Rangers, not the Blackhawks, not Toronto. I'll say again, the Oilers became the first road team to rally from down 3 to win a game in the final since the Montreal Canadiens against the Seattle Metropolitans in 1919. Only 6 teams have come back from down 3 in the final. The last time was back in 2006. Absolutely unbelievable. If we could scroll down one more, Angel, right underneath that is Calvin Pickard, who came into the game for Stuart Skinner, who was pulled after the second period. And I'll tell you what, this guy didn't miss a beat. And he is now 7-0 in Stanley Cup playoffs after picking up for the overtime W.
Calvin Pickard comes in. What a performance. Gets the win. Joins us now. Congratulations. Thanks so much for coming on. Henrik Lundqvist, go ahead.
Calvin, congrats. Incredible performance. I have a couple questions for you. Take us through what went through your mind when you heard you're going in that second period.
Yeah, thanks, Hank. Appreciate it. Obviously, from a goalie to another, you'd like to get a little bit notice, getting right into the room. But Knobber waited right to the 11th hour there, about 3.5 minutes on the clock. So I kind of had to scramble and get my gear on. But it was good. Obviously, just wanted to go in there, hit the ball back, and we were going to have a better effort in the second and third. And, I'm looking at the wrong spot here, eh? But no, it was good. You guys have watched us all year. We play great hockey from behind, and it was an unbelievable effort. Obviously, getting that late goal, giving up that late goal is not ideal, but regrouped, got a bounce.
That's good.
It was just incredible. There were so many.
Good. And you can see the whole thing on my Twitter page. Before we go to break, when we come back out of break, we're going to have the Tyrese Halliburton comments from 2 days ago, and then Stephen A's Aaron Rodgers flaky narcissistic rebuttal. But I did want to talk about quickly before we go, law enforcement in Miami-Dade County seeking to arrest former NFL wide receiver and nutjob Antonio Brown. I added nutjob in on a charge of attempted murder. According to the Washington Post, the charge stems from a shooting Brown was allegedly involved in during that celebrity boxing event in Miami last month. We talked about this, Angel. We knew something was going to come of this. It's just a matter of time. The warrant shows a charge of attempted murder with a firearm. It also instructs Brown to post a $10,000 bond and remain on house arrest until trial. What are the odds of that? Brown was detained by police after gunshots were fired at the boxing event, which was hosted by online streamer Aiden Ross, whoever that is. Brown was seen fighting with several people on video posted to social media, and gunshots could clearly be heard after the altercation. Police released Brown after a few hours, and he posted an explanation to social media the following day. Quote, "I was jumped by multiple individuals who tried to steal my jewelry and cause physical harm to me. Contrary to some video circulating, police temporarily denied me until they received my side of the story and then released me. I went home that night and was not arrested." That was all in capital letters. "I will be talking to my legal counsel and attorneys on pressing charges on the individuals that jumped me." Yeah. According to the warrant, witnesses told police officers that Brown was the shooter, and 2 shell casings were found at the scene. Brown was unarmed at the time he was detained, but the man he allegedly punched during the altercation told police that Brown began to run toward him with a firearm, quote unquote, after the fight had already been broken up, and shot at him twice. The man identified Brown on surveillance footage and also said he has known him since 2022. Of course, the latest in a string of on and off the field incidents dating back, for the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Raiders, the Patriots, Tampa Bay. The list is endless. Filed a lawsuit. People filed a lawsuit when he was with the Patriots alleging sexual assault. He pleaded no contest in 2020 to felony burglary with battery charges. He also played 2 seasons for Tampa Bay, signing with them in October of 2020. You all remember what happened there. He won a Super Bowl. Then the next year he walked off the field in the middle of the game, effectively ending his career in Tampa and the NFL. And this guy needs serious psychiatric help, or he's going to be in jail the rest of his life at some point. Just awful. All right, quick break here on the Pete Sheppard Show on a Freaky Friday, July. Is it July? No, it's June 13th. June 13th. Jay Flanley's going to join me at 8:05. When we come back, what I promised you, video, Tyrese Halliburton, and then the pathetic narcissistic rebuttal by Stephen A. Smith. MLB rundown as well, and lots more. Part of the Pete Sheppard Show here. Hi, Swifties, on a Friday the 13th here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Pickard, now Kulak. Held in by Verhaeghe. Now across, Tkachuk with it. Score! 20 seconds remaining.
What a play there by Carter Verhaeghe to get the puck to Sam Bennett. And then Tkachuk and Reinhart play a little pitch and catch. Pickard well out on top of the blue paint. But the one battle along the boards with support by Bennett and folks. That is not an easy handle to put the puck into the back.
Welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show. What another awesome game last night in the Stanley Cup Final between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Florida coming up a bit short after blowing a 3-0 lead. And teams, I believe, after a 3-0 lead in the first period, the last time were 1-156. Wow. What a comeback by the Edmonton Oilers. And Game 5 will be tomorrow night in Edmonton. Welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show, everybody, here on the Coastal Sports Network. Thanks for checking us out on the awesome video platform. And don't forget to download the awesome Sports Radio 102.9 The Game app right there. We got a lot of new shows. Hey, want to welcome Sheila and Kevin on board today. That's coming up at 10 o'clock. And this show probably won't go until 10 today, but I'll hop on with Sheila right before. But Sheila and Kevin, she's got a couple of special guests, but one I know of, Dr. Yvette Diva Williams. And she is quite the character. Wait till you hear her. So Sheila's going to do. It'll be a lot of entertainment and general interest stuff. She is great, longtime radio and voiceover personality. Still doing all that stuff. She's a great friend, and she's going to have a great show. She'll be on every Friday at 10 o'clock right here on the Coastal Sports Network. So you want to check that out, Sheila and Kevin. And what else is coming up on the network today after that?
Today is Friday. There's, other than repeats and people checking out the website, there's not, because Duncan Dad yesterday. So today's Friday. Yeah, that's pretty much, at least at the moment, that's pretty much it for after you, 7 to 10 a.m. and then with Sheila and Kevin from 10 to 11 or however long she ends up going. But no, that's it. And then also, for those out there as well, we are celebrating our 5-year anniversary here at Broad Street South.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It all started. So thank you to everyone who supported us for many, many years here. So 5 years, you make it. That means that you've established yourself pretty well. And it's also the 1-year anniversary for not only the Coastal Sports Network, for Pete and I shifting over and then pivoting and making the Coastal Sports Network move. So thank you to all who, again, support the Pete Sheppard Show. Pete, obviously, a longtime radio personality and broadcaster, so I appreciate everyone who comes back every single day and checks out the website and downloads the app.
Yes. And welcome all of your newbies from last night. Hey, I do want to say this. Should have said this before the break. Phil Castanetti Sports World in Saugus, Mass. is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectible. We told you about the event coming up at the Kyle Lewin with Jeremy Swayman, the Bruins goalie, at the end of July. But beginning of July, Tuesday, July 1st, from 10 a.m. to noon, down at Sports World, 2013 World Series champ, great guy too, Mike Napoli will be there. Signing autographs and baseballs and photos will be available. So get on down there to Phil Castanetti Sports World in Saugus, 184 Broadway, 781-233-7222 for more information. 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus. Be there. All right, as promised, and this should be right under the show, let's get to which I think is another in one of many embarrassing performances by Stephen A. Smith. And but first, it's right under the show. This is Tyrese Halliburton after the game the other night, in which he nearly had a triple-double. He was brilliant. Didn't get to the free throw line again. And he talks about people criticizing him, does not call out anybody by name, but here are his thoughts on the national media. And then we'll get Stephen A's rebuttal, who thinks this whole conversation is about him.
Kind of calibrating that balance between the playmaking and scoring in Joe.
Yeah, I think the commentary is always going to be what it is. You know, most of the time, the talking heads on the major platforms, I couldn't care less, honestly. Like, what do they really know about basketball? But I think as a group, you know, and watching film myself, seeing where I can get better is important. And, you know, I mean, at a time like this, I'm not really on social media as much. I try to stay off it as much as I can, but, you know, you see it, and, you know, ESPN might be on in my house, and there it is. And, you know, it is what it is. But I think just seeing where I can be better is the most important thing. And having that reflection with myself. I talk a lot, obviously, with my trainer, Drew, and Coach Carlisle and all those guys. And it's a, you know, constant conversation of seeing where I can get better. There was adjustments that had to be made coming into today for me, and I thought I did a better job at that. And I'll watch them again and see where I can get better. But, you know, I think there's going to be ebbs and flows. You know, I'm never going to be, you know, super great and shoot so many shots every game consistently. There's going to be games where I don't, and, you know, I got to be able to find the right balance between the two, you know. But I mean, I think it's experience is the best way that I can learn from it. So seeing where I could be better is important through the first two games, and just trying to be better today. You know, taking what the defense gives me, trying to play the right way, and watch film, see where I can get better, and be ready to go for game 4. But the commentary is what it is at this point. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, we're here in the NBA Finals, 2 wins away from an NBA championship. So, you know, just got to stay with it, put my head down, keep working. And as a group, we just got to keep learning from our mistakes, see where we can get better, and take it a day at a time.
Thank you, Tyrese. Appreciate it. Pascal will be right up.
All right, great stuff. It's so hard not to like that guy. Give a second. My filing system's all messed up here. It's very hard not to. I don't know how you can be just a sports fan, not like Tyrese Halliburton. He's so down to earth. And now if we could scroll down, and it's under clutch points. Here is Stephen A's rebuttal yesterday on one of these shows. I don't know if it was NBA Today or First Take, whatever it is, but makes it all about him. This is as narcissistic as it gets. And I'm just telling you, people in this business, guys like Stephen A. Smith, you're just not that important, and you never ever will be bigger than the game. And when you make yourself the story, that again is broadcast one-on-one. You never, ever do that. But Stephen A. thinks he's an exception to all the rules. Here is his rebuttal to that.
That's a very ignorant statement on his part. You know what I'm saying? It is. First of all, you know, let me be very, very clear. That's a very ignorant statement on his part. Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Shaq, y'all, you, others, Kendrick Perkins.
I know. We all know.
I'm just saying. So what do you mean? Cats don't know. That's the media. That's who you talking about. Now you talking about me. I'm the guy that wanted him drafted by the New York Knicks. I'm the guy that said that the players were wrong to label him overrated. Did you remember that? So I give him credit. He was smart enough not to mention my name because he was assuming. Because had he mentioned me, I'd go in deeper, but I won't. What I will say to you is this. In the end, it just amazes me how cats can be sometimes. Win the damn chip, bro. Win the damn chip. Because the first 2 games of this NBA Finals Series, you had your moment with 0.3 seconds left. Other than that, you didn't play well. And Shai Gilgeous was giving it to y'all. He was averaging 36 coming into the game, reigning league MVP. That ain't on me. That's on you. You know, and oh, by the way, just in case he was talking about me.
Here comes my favorite part.
My brother, I'm not going away.
No, you're not.
That's
I'm going to be here for a while. You said, read the news? I'm going to be here for a while. So next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, I'm going to be here. And players far more accomplished and far more superior have made their efforts trying to call me out. How has that worked out?
When your eyes get soft like that, I get really worried. By the way, I'm really proud of you. You handled that very well. You handled that very well. You handled that very well, big bro. I'm going to give you credit for that.
That's all I'm going to say. I don't get the beauty of me. You know, unfortunately, a lot of guys aren't lucky and as fortunate as I am from this standpoint.
Got that right.
They have to talk to you. I don't get paid to talk to you. I get paid to talk about you. So whether I speak to them or not, or whatever it is, you don't stop this train.
Yeah, the train keeps moving.
And last thing,
It's a locomotive.
and last
run through
thing,
people.
it is a locomotive because we've been number one for 13 straight years.
Oh, we got a we on that.
What a bunch of wussbags. That's it, Stephen A. Make it all about you. All about you. I ain't going nowhere. Well, you know what, Stephen A., I ain't going anywhere either. You may make $12 million a year more than me, but you still come off as a jackass when you say stuff like that. And your fellow cronies there don't have the balls to tell you how narcissistic and jackassy you sound. Just made up that word. I mean, that is unbelievable. If that is not the epitome of narcissism, if that is not the reason why so many hate media people in this business, present company excluded, of course, because they don't call them out like I do. You know, I to sit there, and I guarantee you, the producers are probably sitting back there, some of them, rolling their eyes like, this fucking guy is out. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going. Who the hell are you? I don't get paid to talk to you. I get paid to talk about you. Well, I get paid to talk about people like you, Stephen A., and I get paid to talk to other athletes when the time is right, at times, which I have done many, many times. But I'll be glad to continually shit all over you and your pathetic network until you guys get a grip on reality. And for management to sit there and let this buffoon sit and I get paid. I ain't going nowhere. I mean, doesn't it make you want to vomit? I mean, honestly, don't you get you sit there and I'm like, he's actually saying this. This isn't an outtake. He actually believes this shit. He thinks he is bigger than the game.
Yeah.
And when next year, when Ernie and Chuck and Shaq and Kenny, the Jet Smith come in and just fucking throw you to the side because they don't want anything to do. They don't want to do that crap. They don't want to hear that nonsense. You are not bigger than the game, Stephen A. Why do you think you are? Because your stupid company was dumb enough, like the Red Sox extending Alex Cora, to extend your contract where you get $12 million a year? What are you going to do if you get $2 million a year? Turn it down? Who else is going to give you $2 million a year? It disgusts me. It absolutely disgusts me when I hear stuff like that because you are the reason, Stephen A., why people hate the media. And nobody is going to take you. Is that some tough guy thing? You know? Is that some tough guy thing? I ain't going anywhere. You're lucky LeBron didn't punch you in the fucking face a couple months ago. I wish he did. After all your bullshit and lying and all that crap, and he called you out on it. I ain't going nowhere. I'm flabbergasted. I'm apoplectic. I'm disgusted with this guy. And and again, I have it on sparingly not during so much during there. When I get done, I put it on literally for 30 seconds. I put on the show this morning, Unsportsmanlike. Canty wasn't there. It's always phrasing how Canty's not there when they have to talk about hockey. So I forget who else was on with Smalls, but they had to talk about, or Evan Cohen and Smalls and the third guy, I can't remember. They had to talk about the Stanley Cup final, which they did for a good 3 minutes. And then they didn't. Then they moved on to the U.S. Open a little bit, which, by the way, I'll have an update on that as well. But, oh, my God, the narcissism that is in this business now with people like, not everybody, but a lot of people like Stephen A. give a lot of other people a bad rap. God, I mean, anybody who thinks they are bigger than the actual sport or the business that they're covering, especially in broadcasting, you're not bigger than the broadcasting industry. You are not bigger. You sure as hell are not bigger than the NBA. And you're going to get your ass kicked by somebody one of these days. I hope Shaq brings him up, takes him up and snaps him in half over his knee next year. Try pulling that shit next year with those guys. And of course, you'll never be in the studio with them. You shouldn't unless you crash because you're Stephen A. I ain't going nowhere. I don't
think he's going to do that.
And punch him in the face. Don't you want when the way he's talking, the arrogance and the ignorance and the narcissism? Don't you just want to go? Hey, not even punch him. I just want to flick him on the nose. Tick. That's how annoying you are.
But my thing is, though, why does Stephen A. always think it's about him?
Because there's no one to challenge him. There's nobody there to challenge him.
Because I don't remember how nowhere in that statement Tyrese made anything, any comment whatsoever about. And if you're just insinuating and taking it upon yourself, like I know he didn't say my name. He didn't say your name. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to call you out, I would have called you out.
Stats said on Twitter, Stephen A. Smith critiquing players, quote, "Why are you being so sensitive? I'm just calling it how I see it. It's nothing personal." Players critiquing Stephen A. Smith. Do you know who I am? Do you know the work I put in? Who are you to speak on me and my craft? Yeah, Stephen A., how much work do you really put in? How much work is done by your producers handing you a whole bunch of cheat sheets, 15, 16. I've seen it. I know how it works. How come some of your NBA takes are so way off base? How come you just try to you try to start shit that doesn't exist? It's just unbelievable. Not to mention your pathetic Knick fandom. And I don't even know if that's real or not, because you seem to change your narrative. I don't know. You're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. You wrote in Philadelphia for the Examiner all those years. You blah, blah. You put the work in. So everybody put the fucking work in. I've been doing this 38 years, buddy. I put the work in too. And I don't come off on any platform and never have going, man, I can't imagine if he said this shit in Boston or Philadelphia or New York, maybe not New York, but and just came on, I ain't going nowhere. We would do bits on that for years. We would shit all over our own hosts if they ever came off and sounded so narcissistic like that. I get paid to talk about you. I don't get paid to talk to you. I get paid to talk about you. Oh my God. That is so freaking bad. Stephen A., you're a jackass, man. You're a cartoon character. You have become a cartoon character. And this is not personal, by the way. It's professional. I've met the man twice in my life, and I don't really, I don't really go gaga over national media people. I've met plenty in my life, worked with plenty of them. Stephen A., professionally, you're coming off as a cartoon character, jackass, with the personality of Aaron Rodgers. That's how you sound. That's how you sound. Deal with that truth. Deal with that truth. A couple of other hockey notes. How about Winnipeg's Jets goaltender, Connor Hellebuck, who also used to play at the University of Massachusetts, UMass Lowell. He's the NHL's Hart Trophy winner for this season. That's the MVP. And he wins the Vezina. That is very, very rare. The Jets veteran netminder was just the third goalie in the past 10 years to be a finalist for the Hart, awarded annually to the player, adjudged to be the most valuable to this team. And yesterday, he gets it as the first goalie to win it since Carey Price, I hated him, for the Montreal Canadiens back in 2015, and the fourth overall at the position in the expansion era since 67-68. He also won the Vezina Trophy as the NHL's top goalie. Again, this is all based on regular season. Third time he has earned that distinction. He did it in 2020. He did it last year. And in doing so, becomes the first goalie to win the Hart and Vezina trophies in the same year since Price. This is the equivalent, Angel, of a pitcher winning the Cy Young Award and MVP. Doesn't happen a lot. There's a lot of people out there, I know in baseball, that don't like the fact that at times the pitchers will win both awards. And I'm sure it's the same way in hockey. I get it, but I always go back to Roger Clemens in 1986. He went 24-4 with a 2.48 ERA. Of course, he was the most valuable player. And he was a Cy Young Award winner. And he's the reason why. I mean, it doesn't happen to Guillermo Hernandez for the Detroit Tigers back in 1987. He was a closer. He was not scored a pot in 37 straight games or whatever it was, and he won. He got, the Tigers didn't win the World Series that year, but they got to the playoffs. And he won MVP and the Cy Young Award. There's been a couple others too. I mean, Dennis Eckersley has been an MVP. I mean, it's just, and Cy Young, it's happened before. So, but I wonder how people in hockey feel about it as well, because the goalie is the goalie, and somebody who's out there, all the time as a forward or defenseman, they should be the ones that win the Hart Trophy. But didn't happen. Hellebuck wins the Vezina, and he wins the Hart Trophy. All right, Angel, take another quick break. When we come back, Jay Flanning will join us from Bees World up in Ann Arbor. Don't forget, coming up later on today, a debut. Sheila and Kevin coming up at 10 a.m. with Dr. Yvette Diva Williams. You don't want to miss that. And a whole bunch of other great stuff coming up here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Sheppard Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
Best stolen base percentage in baseball. And McNeil gets one in the air deep down the right field line, headed toward the corner. It's out of here! Jeff McNeil with a 3-run homer. Just tucked it over the right field wall for his 7th home run of the year, and the Mets jump out to a 3-0 first inning lead. Mets lineup.
Welcome back. Mets jump out to a 4-0 lead last night, and then they hang on and beat the Washington Nationals by a score of 4-3. Speaking of Mets, I thought he'd be joining me a couple of seconds earlier. I hope you heard that cut. That was for you, Jay Flanley, up in Ann Arbor, Beeves World. Good morning, Jay. How are you doing?
Doing good, Pete. You there? There you go,
I'm
buddy.
here. I see you.
Yeah, but the big news out of that was Senga got hurt pretty bad.
Yeah. We're going to get into
Yeah.
hamstring injury, fell off funny on the mound. It's those landing spots are huge for pitchers.
It also doesn't help where Pete Alonso could overthrow Hakeem Olajuwon, so that's the other part. So just not a good thing. But no, Mets are good. They have, believe it or not, if they're ever going to have a starting pitcher injured, right now is the right time because they got 2 or 3 guys coming back. Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas are coming back. Montas probably going to slot right in to his slot, and they were taking calls on Blackburn. So they have pitching depth. Their field team is awesome, and now Soto's heating up, so that's good. But yeah, it's a very weird year in baseball. There's a lot of really, really bad teams. And there's 5 or 6 high-end teams, and there's no, like, middle class. Like, teams like the Red Sox that are, like, around 500 are just, kind of eh. And then there's
the Twins.
The Orioles stink.
The
Rays stink.
The Twins go like 12-1, then they lose 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Phillies are pretty consistent, even though they lost 8 out of 9. They seem to be
a lot of guys hurt. The
Phillies
had a lot of guys hurt. Yeah.
All right, before we get into it, I just want to play this report from CBS in case anybody missed it, and I'll get your thoughts, Jay, on it.
Former NFL star Antonio Brown is wanted for attempted murder. That's according to the Washington Post. Brown is accused of opening fire outside a celebrity boxing event last month. That's when cell phone video caught Brown being detained by Miami police. At the time, Brown said several people had tried to rob him. The warrant calls for Brown to post a $10,000 bond and remain under house arrest until a trial date is set.
Yes, it's just this is just a matter of time before Antonio Brown ends up in jail the rest of his life. It's so sad because the man needs serious psychiatric help. There is absolutely no question about it, and it's just there's nobody, doesn't seem to have any friends willing to help this guy. You kind of got to clunk him over the head, put him in a straitjacket, and just carry him off to some psychiatric ward. He needs help, or he's going to kill himself, or end up or get killed, or end up in jail the rest of his life. I knew something was going to come of this a couple of months ago when it happened. I knew it. I saw the video. We played the video on the show.
I saw it.
Has there ever been? I mean, really, I'm being serious here, Jay, with you about, at least in the NFL, have you ever seen a bigger waste of talent in the last 30 years than this guy? Seriously. I mean, the potential, we know what he was capable of. We saw what he could do. You talk about, and I always think of Chaz Palminteri or not Chaz Palminteri, but Robert De Niro in the Bronx jail. The biggest is wasted talent. Wasted talent. I used to feel the same way, obviously, about Marvin Barnes back in the day. I thought there's never been more of a wasted talent than that guy. But for a football player, can you think of somebody with more wasted talent over the last 30 years?
Well, okay, but which the disclaimer here is Antonio Brown was an all-pro player. He ruined his career. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but we saw what he was capable of. But it really is. He should have been the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah. I like how you bring me in to talk to mental cases. I like this. This is good. Because I was wrong on these two guys, I'm going to say Ryan Leaf.
I was thinking of him too.
But thank God Ryan's going to turn his life around, and he's great. He's great doing commentary, by the way, and just being on social media.
Yep, I played a cut from him yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. But that was more of a. He was able to get by without working hard and being a part-time guy. I mean, I'll never forget when we played them in the '97 Rose Bowl. It was actually in 1998. There's the picture after the game of he's shaking hands with Glenn Steele, our All-American defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
And Glenn Steele and here are the same size.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like passing version of Cam Newton. He was a giant.
Yeah.
And he was it just a lot of too much too soon, too fast. You probably have stories because you're tight with Zolak and he's got some Drew Bledsoe and he and Bledsoe would be out driving around and Ryan Leaf would be calling him. And Scott's talked about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's listen. I don't want to go too far into this because Tom obviously played with him and tried to help him. But it gets to the point.
Antonio Brown threw him under the bus more than once. And just absolutely shit all over him. Guy let him live in his house.
Yep.
Did so much for the guy. And I'm saying everything Tom did, if that's not the closest thing to a friend you're ever going to get, then that's it. And then you shit all over him at the end. Go ahead, continue.
But the difference between Ryan Leaf and Antonio Brown is, I think most people will tell you that Ryan Leaf actually is a pretty good person and he's trying to do better. Just had a disease, addiction and drugs and alcohol and stuff. And I think Antonio Brown, he's had head injuries because I know people who were around him early in his career in Pittsburgh, and he was a pretty good guy. But then he had the Vontaze Burfict hit, a couple other hits. He's got CTE and stuff. And he held the Gavin Newsom tweet.
Off 11-story buildings, throws gummy bears at his girlfriend and his child.
Gummy bear penises. There's my fantasy football name. Thank you.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, just the whole he treats people poorly, beating up delivery drivers, not paying people, just treating people poorly. And it's just, those type of things that add up. And, the karma gods are undefeated, I like to tell people. And, I don't need to go much into more about Tom, but that guy helped put me in rehab 3 times. I could literally call him right now and he'd be here in 10 seconds to help me. And I didn't catch any touchdowns. I didn't run the wrong route in the Super Bowl either, but, that's a whole other – that's a great video if you understand what that is about. The touchdown he scored in the Super Bowl, he ran the wrong route. But Tom knew he was going to run the wrong route, so he threw the ball to the right place. So it's kind of – and Blaine Gabbert, it's the video on the sideline. Blaine Gabbert's –
Yeah.
So, and by the way, it worked out. It's not the worst thing in the world. But at that point, honestly, I could have been the third receiver on the Bucs in that game, and they would have won. They began by 4 touchdowns. So it's just what it is. But it's an awful situation. Hopefully things work out for the guy who got shot. But, the lesson of the day is if you're going to shoot somebody, don't do it on television.
But you're talking about a guy who has no intelligence at all. He just doesn't.
I was about to say, I'm beginning to think Antonio Brown's not smart.
Yeah.
Beginning to think Antonio Brown's not smart. It can't always be the other people or F-ups. Sometimes it's you. So it is what it is. It's sad. It's an awful situation. And his decision-making is on the line with the Iranian government. So there you go. So the
and isn't that a scary thought? Believe it or not. I'm trying to find this little college football quiz that I wanted to give. Why the hell can I not find it? Yeah, give me 1 second here.
wait a minute. Angel didn't tell me there'd be questions and answers here this early in the morning, Pete. I mean, come on, man. No, I'm going. Go ahead. Let's hear it. I love trivia and questions.
Where the hell is it? Jeez Louise. What the hell did I do with it?
Here's the first question. Who's the first team to win the national championship and not win their league? The Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah. So there you go.
All right. I can't. Damn it. I cannot. What did I do with it?
Pete, it's not like I'll never be on your show again.
No, I know. All right.
It's like.
All right. Let's move. We'll move on here a second. Okay. Now, Tom Brady's statue is going to be unveiled August 8th. Listen to this.
Last year, we commissioned a local sculptor to create a larger-than-life bronze statue to perpetuate the legendary legacy of the great Tom Brady.
They have completed the greatest comeback. Gotta be perfect, all right?
What a throw by Brady!
We are not finished, fellas.
It is the honor of my life to be officially enshrined into the winning legacy of this amazing organization.
Yeah!
I am Tom Brady, and I am a Patriot.
Goosebumps, baby. Somebody it's going to be bigger than the Rocky statue. It's going to be like the Rocky statue in Philadelphia, even though they keep moving it. Where is the Rocky statue now? It's not on the museum steps anymore. They moved it.
Well, I thought it's still there because I saw Sylvester Stallone. If you've seen, it was within the last year, he was there, and there's this little kid came up and did his Rocky speech to him.
But Angel, didn't they move it? Did they move it from? Maybe it's still at the art museum, but they just moved it. It's not at the top of the stairs anymore, right?
No, so it's been moved a couple of times, but it's at the actual bottom of the steps to the right. So if you're coming around the circle, it's on the right-hand side because a couple of fans went out there and put the opposing teams' scarves and jerseys and stuff on there to get pissed off when they end up ruining the statue for all intents and purposes. But yeah, it's still there at the Museum of Art. It's just on the bottom right on the steps before you start making the climb.
Defecating the Philadelphia Eagles fan base and Rocky statue is on the line reasoning of thinking with Antonio Brown and the Iranian leadership. So there you go. It's just almost as smart.
It's really unbelievable. It's just,
do you want to get put in a hospital? I mean, really.
Yeah.
What good? Okay, that's going to help your team beat the Eagles too. You being put in the hospital.
It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
By the way, I'm the guy who, when I was 17 years old, I called the whole town short and fat, and they were all trying to kill me for 30 years. So there you go. So it's whatever. But it's just stupid. But it is what it is.
It's like Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. Remember, he's handing out pens, and he's going, "I know you." The kid goes, "I know you. You're tall and fat. You're ugly. Give the pen back."
And by the way, you just did the Tom thing. Yeah. And, I have many questions, but the biggest one would be, what kind of stupid team will let him out of the building? But I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm wearing my Buccaneers hat. I didn't even know you were going to do that.
I will always say that the time was right. Speaking of that, let me play this cut too for you. This is Tampa Bay center Graham Barton on Baker Mayfield. Says he's the straw that stirs the drink, baby.
I was with maybe, if I counted them up, maybe 9 NFL quarterbacks throughout my years in the league. Not all of them were the kind of guy that the linemen like to have dinner with or feel like you're part of the line. But I have a feeling Baker's one of those guys that's like part of the line. He's like close to acceptance from the Hogs up front. He's more that kind of guy.
No doubt at all. We do O-line dinners every Thursday in season, and Baker's at just about every single one of them. So, you're absolutely right. By that point, he really is one of us. We all, like I said, when I was talking about the O-line hangout and stuff, Baker's a part of that group, and so, we love Baker. We play our butts off for Baker. I wouldn't want anyone else back there. He really is just, kind of bought into this whole Tampa Bay Buccaneers thing and has really, made it his. this team will follow him into anything. And I think, I speak for everyone in the building when I say that we're very happy Baker's at the helm.
And if you're wondering, that was Pat Kerwin on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Yeah.
One of the best in the business. He's great. He does a daily show with Jim Miller, former Bears, and so Pat does a great job. When I was down here initially, first 2 years, he was on with us on the show I was doing down here.
Jim or Pat or both?
Pat was.
Okay, Pat. Yeah, Pat's awesome.
Yeah,
Pat's awesome.
Great stuff. Anyway,
and
so
Jim's great too. He used to do Michigan State games on the radio, and he's awesome too.
All right, let's talk a little bit what the hell's going on in Cincinnati. Now, Shamar Stewart, he's left. I'm still wondering why he's upset. The first-round draft pick has not participated in any of the team's offseason workouts.
Because,
according to the source, the dispute is centered on interpretation of language in the contract that could affect guaranteed money. Yeah. You can only get so much as a rookie. I don't understand how this happened in his rookie contract. Yes.
Pete, this is on the Bengals, not him, but you go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, I'm asking they want to spread it out?
No. Yes, they're trying to get it so they can void his guaranteed money. They're basically trying to violate the CBA. Stewart is 100% right. Read up on this. Read up on this.
No, it's
the Bengals bengling.
This
the
is
Bengals
so
bengling.
This is so petty. And Trey Hendrickson, he's out. He skipped mandatory camp. He's getting fined every day for not being there the last 3 days.
Yeah, that's going to help things. The Bengals should just trade Trey Hendrickson. They should just trade him. I mean, it's an ass backwards, stupid organization. So what you were saying, Pete, is 100% true. First round draft picks are the only positions in the NFL coming out of the draft where everything is slotted. Pick 15 gets this pick. 22 gets this. Mm-hmm. This is the most guaranteed money you can offer. You can do 4 years with the fifth year. They get to determine after the third season, going into the fourth year, if they're going to get picked up. That's what happened to Baker Mayfield, by the way, that the Browns let him go over that. So it's the Bengals because, to be perfectly honest with you, they're now cash strapped because they paid Gesicki for reasons known only to them. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, who are both, T. Higgins is a good number 2 receiver, and Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL. They also paid Joe Burrow, but they just screwed around with their defensive captain and cut him, and now he's on the Raiders. That's Jermaine Pratt, and they're playing this bullshit with Hendrickson and now the rookie draft pick. I mean, talk to any of your friends that are agents or do contract law, the Michael McCanns, those type of people. This is nonsense what they're doing. And it's important that he doesn't sign and he holds out. And honestly, the players union should get involved. And the Bengals should be censured and probably fined. And I get an idea. How about you take away their first round draft pick next year? That might. Now they're not going to do that because the Bengals
that would really be extreme. They don't do that to the Patriots for bullshit crap. I
know.
They wouldn't dare do that to the Cincinnati Bengals because people feel badly for them. I got to get my boy Trags on next week again because I had a feeling this was going to happen. He was trying to.
I just totally forgot about. Trags is awesome. So Trags will know. Trags probably has fun walking to practice. We has to go across the street there and almost get killed every time on the intersection. People don't know that. That's the thing that people don't talk about.
When is the practice field going to be done? I know that they are building one, right?
But the best part, I think it's within the next 15 months. But Pete, the best part of that story is the only reason why they're getting that practice facility built is Joe Burrow, had them put that into his contract that they were going to do that because I guess one of his teammates got hurt walking across the street. So people don't understand. There's a cross section in the street. Where to go to the Bengals practice field, you actually have to go across the street. You're like a fourth grader walking to school with a crossing guard. This is an NFL team.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It has good players. They've been to multiple Super Bowls. They've been to Super Bowl three different quarterbacks.
Can't get a practice field. Can't get a practice field. Yeah, but
you imagine the Bengals calling a Cincinnati business and saying, hey, can you help us get us a practice field? They could do it in 10 seconds. Skyline Chili practice field.
Unbelievable. It really is. It's been going on for years. Years over there.
No question. And Pete, grew up with the Mickey Mouse Patriots at Bryant College, and then getting their own facility and everything when Mr. Kraft bought the team. But they never had to walk across the street to go to friggin' practice.
No. No, although at Bryant, which is not Bryant University, but Bryant College back then in Smithfield, Rhode Island, that was a decent walk, mostly golf carted to the locker rooms. That was not.
But it was a college campus. Yes.
But it wasn't across the street. It was a big, wide open area with very little traffic except for the fans.
Yeah, and Permenti's was there. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, you're right. But again, it's a college campus. They rent the place. They got the dorms. And then you made a great point about the golf carts. And by the way, that was like when Parcells came in, that was still going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that where, I mean, Zolak will tell you, he and Bledsoe with the golf carts and who got to do what and where. But yeah, it was funny. I went up to Bryant a couple of years ago and they were playing Brown for a game. So that was interesting. But it's such a Mickey Mouse fun. And the sad thing is it's a good team.
Yeah.
And Trags is a really good reporter. He's covering the team, but he's got to be sitting there shaking his head because he covered the Patriots. And I'm not the biggest Crafts fan for obvious reasons, but there's common sense things that aren't hard to do. And like I just said, you could make one phone call and get somebody to sponsor your practice field. It's going to cost you $2 to $3 million. They would do it in 10 seconds.
Yep.
Spread it out over 10 years. It's not that hard.
No,
hell, I could get it. I could probably get it done.
No, I totally agree. All right, what's coming up with you this weekend? What's going on at Beavs World? What are you up to?
College World Series.
Yes.
And this incredible Stanley Cup Finals. What a job by Edmonton! What a job by Edmonton last night coming back. And this is them without McDavid getting goals. He's creating a lot of chances, and they're out chasing him around. And the crazy bounce goal to win the game last night was nuts. But what a play by Matthew Tkachuk to set up the tying goal with 19 seconds left. And that was it's such high-level hockey. And Pete, the sad thing is, and I was telling CPR this, is how far the Bruins away from either of these teams. It's not even the same. It's animal, vegetable, mineral.
Look, not now. I get that. It's just amazing because a couple of years ago they were right. They're obviously right.
Oh
there.
yeah.
I mean,
but that was when they had like Taylor Hall on the third line. Yeah.
Marco Sturm hiring.
I love it too. Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Can they get back in the playoffs next year? Yeah, I think they can. I want to see them. Way to go. They got some tweaking to do before they are at the level of the Florida Panthers. I mean, Paul Maurice, everything he touches basically turns to gold. He's an amazing coach. But that was something last night. Again, that had not been done. Did you know the Oilers became the first team to rally from down 3 to win a game in the final since the Montreal Canadiens against the Seattle Metropolitans in 1919. Only 6 teams have come back from down 3 in the final. The last time was back in 2006. The Seattle Metropolitans.
I covered that team, Pete. I'm kidding.
It was an amazing thing. And then the other topic, I had a couple of other topics that I talked about.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, the Stephen A. Smith narcissistic rebuttal to Tyrese Halliburton it's why people hate this business. I don't want to play it again. It's just I can't.
By the way, speaking of Stephen A. Yeah, speaking of Stephen A., are the Knicks gonna have a coach by the 4th of July?
No. No.
I mean, here's another lesson that we've talked about before on your show and my show. When you fire somebody, make sure you have a replacement. Or when you leave a job, make sure you have a job. So it's like, and by the way, when you destroy a guy like Tom Thibodeau, and somebody wants to go, suppose you wake up and you want to coach the Knicks. You have to beat what Thibodeau did. So you have to go to the finals next year. That's not easy to do in New York. Look it up. So it's not, I don't know what to make of it. Did you find the trivia question thing you wanted to ask me?
I didn't. I didn't.
Look it up, and when I come on Tuesday, we'll talk. But I'll be back Monday. Going back to a normal show with Angel. Monday and Wednesday, like 6 to 7:30-ish, whenever Angel keeps me on. But we're fired up. College World Series, Stanley Cup. That's silly golf for you who like MLB, NBA Finals, which I'm not watching. The ratings monster NBA Finals matchup. But that Stanley Cup Finals and the College World Series is awesome.
No, you're not watching the
NBA.
Why are you not watching the
No.
NBA Finals? Because you just don't like the NBA.
A couple. No, I haven't. I really, Pete. It's a couple things. I don't really have the time because it's like it's quality of life and time, and I don't care. I don't even like this group of Celtics players. I'm just very down on the NBA.
Why don't you like the Celtics players?
I'm old school. I don't like Tatum and I don't like Brown.
Oh, come on.
I loved Isaiah Thomas. I don't like the NBA, Pete. It's not my thing.
You don't like the NBA. You don't like it. JJ Spawn is still your leader. He hasn't teed off yet at 12. That course is unbelievable. I can't believe how hard that course is at Oakmont Country Club. It really.
So we were headed on yesterday at work, and some of these guys look like they needed Jimmy, Jack, and Johnny. Holy Christ, it was bad. It was that course is not fun. And the weather's not good either.
I was looking at a video from 1994 as opposed to how they groomed it now. Oh my God!
Yeah.
How about Patrick Reed getting the Albatross, a 2 on a par 5, 286 yards, crazy. It's only the 4th one in the U.S. Open history. So anyway, all right, my man, you are the best. Have a great weekend, and we'll definitely talk next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. You too, Angel. Behave. Everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
There he is, Jake Flannelly from Bees World up in Ann Arbor. So JJ Spawn's your leader at the U.S. Open at Oakmont. 4 under. He hasn't teed off yet. He's tees off at 12:52. He has a 1-stock lead over Brooks Koepka. What if the Hurricane were named Koepka? He is 1 stroke back through 3 today on at -3 also. Tristan Lawrence, he's at 3 under, 1 stroke back. He tees off at 220. Siwoo Kim tees off at 136. He is 2 shots back at -2. And then a bunch of others at -1. Some of the bigger names. John Rahm is even right now. Victor Hovland is even. And everybody else is 1 over or going to be teeing off a little bit later on. So there is your U.S. Open update. This course, I'm telling you, man, if you don't hit the ball into the fairway and you miss even by an inch, you are screwed. It is amazing. The ball just disappears, absolutely disappears. Not my kind of course. Not my kind of course. All right, Angel, what you got going on this weekend?
Oh, let's see. Work. And then the anniversary of myself and my lovely wife here on Sunday. So we'll be celebrating that.
Oh, happy 1st anniversary. Wow. Has it been a year already?
Yeah, it went by quick.
Wow.
Went by quick. So yeah, we're celebrating our 1 year. And then there's a luau event come tomorrow. So that should be fun as well. It's a down in Tampa. So that should be good. And then, as usual, work stuff. And then we're back, before you know it, here on Monday.
Good stuff. Do not watch Stephen A. Smith and because it just makes you want to throw up. He'll probably have more to say because he's getting shit on all over the place by people like me, and he gets very defensive. But I recommend not watching. You've got better things to do between 10 and noon. Meanwhile, coming up later on at 10 o'clock, Sheila and Kevin, the debut of their show with Dr. Yvette Diva, in parentheses, quotations, Williams. So I'll be on with Sheila just a little bit right before 10 o'clock, Angel, and we'll get her going, the debut. Until then, I'm going to go have some breakfast and go walk the dog. And have a great and safe rest of your Friday, the 13th, everybody. I am back Monday at 7 a.m. I will be back right before 10 with Sheila and Kevin for a little bit. Also, Angel, next Thursday and Friday, I am out of town, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. So no show for me next Thursday and Thursday and Friday. All right, have a great and safe rest of your day. By the way, I already fixed my Facebook page because the TNT police on Facebook we've already taken care of it. Yeah. So we'll talk soon. I'll be back on about 5 or 10 with Sheila for a little bit, and then I'm back on Monday at 7 a.m. Bye-bye.